First, I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. So the Cromford Report is going to be the main source that I use in any of the numbers I give you in this information. So it is my job as a real estate agent to study those numbers so I can use them as a benefit in my business, but also benefit my clients. So they are definitely the statistical real estate experts in the Valley. I study their numbers, I subscribe to them, I study them so I know the ups and downs, and that helps get ahead of the competition and helps my clients with where to buy, when to sell, things like that. Also, even if you don't use myself, please use a real estate agent that can tell you these numbers, because it is crucial, especially in a market that we are in right now, that you know what's going on. So just wanted to give that to you. So right now they're kind of labeling this as a slow motion market. So the greater Phoenix real estate market pretty much is boring right now. So it's not really a headline grabber as it has been in years past. Marketplace is pretty much, like I said, in slow motion, and it's kind of boring, but a lot of activity is going on for things that are priced correctly, and I'll go more into that. So it's slowly eroded into a balance between supply and demand. So at one time it was a huge seller's market because the supply was low and there was high demand. But as I pointed out numerous times in my videos, if you paint the whole entire valley with one paintbrush, you're really not doing a good job of that, because there are so many different pockets of what is going on in this valley. I mean, you can drive 10 minutes if you don't know and be in 3 different cities, and each of those could be very different. So being very simple and inaccurate is not going to be good. So specific price points in each area is uniquely. So of the 17 of the largest municipalities here in the valley, 10 of them are currently considered a seller's market. So here they are in descending order from the highest strength seller's market down. So number 1, you're going to have Chandler. Then shortly after that, you're going to have Gilbert, then Glendale, Tempe, and Mesa, Avondale, Phoenix, Fountain Hills, and then Scottsdale, and last one will be Peoria. So people are a little surprised to see Scottsdale that low. So 2 of our municipalities are in balance, and that would be Paradise Valley and Surprise. And then ones that are favoring the buyers is going to be Cave Creek, which I think people are surprised by that, Goodyear, Queen Creek, and that includes Santana as well, Maricopa, and Buckeye. So your outer lying areas are definitely more in the buyer's market and favoring them. So, and then we'll go ahead and just talk about some overall market trends. So supply has been quietly growing since the start of 2024. Right as of this video, we're really close to 18,000 available homes that are not under contract. And that doesn't seem a lot if you're watching from a different market possibly, but historically for us, it is a lot. So long-term average, it's definitely going to be below that, but it's still the highest total that we've had since the first quarter of 2019. Pretty crazy information there. So it's also worth noting that how unusual it is for supply to grow in the spring. That's usually a good time for people to buy. So it is the end of the snowbird season where they decide, you know what, I don't want to rent anymore. I do want to buy something, but it's also that spring break season where people, want to purchase here as well. So usually there's enough buyers in the spring that it really keeps that supply low. But since our supply has grown, it's definitely rare this year for that to happen. So I'm going to read a quote from the Cromford Report here, and it says that listings under contract are only down 6% compared to last year, but active listings are up 26%, which is pretty crazy. Think about that in 1 year. Additionally, resale sellers are competing more against the builders more than ever. And this is off quote, but if you've been looking, you know that the builders have the ability to offer some lower lower rates. So they're doing some incentives for using their lending companies, or if you come in with cash, they'll give you some incentives as well. So they have that lower than market interest rates where they actually buy an interest rate at bulk from an investor, and then, hey, we'll give you 4.99% and help pay your closing costs, because they have the ability to go ahead and be able to control that. So 22.6% of the market is actually new home builders, while 3 years ago they were less than 15%. So just think about that. But they are building all around the valley, but your outskirts are seeing them a little bit more. So Cromford Report also has another quote that says resales have been suffering from strong competition from new homes, and the source of supply is looking stronger than ever, actually. So again, off quote here. Stronger than ever is a little bit strong, but stronger than last year for sure. And another quote here in February, there were 2,810 single-family home permits across Maricopa and Pinal counties, which maybe when you're I think we're the 6th largest now, or the 5th largest city, it may not seem a lot, but it's the highest number since March of 2022. And it's up 107% compared to February of last year. So the new home builders are definitely getting a lot of the market share and starting to get some homes built, and building them fairly quickly, because there's just not a whole lot going on besides that. So and then the multifamily permits, this is Cromford, obviously. Multifamily permits for February were lower at 1,147 units, which is down 51% from a year ago. Multifamily kind of goes up and down, depending. I mean, you're talking about a whole entire building could be 300 units. So it's going to fluctuate up and down a little bit. But when you drive around the valley, you do see a lot of multifamily going up. So that is trying to assist with the fact affordability's down. So if you look at annual running total, we have over 20,000 units for multifamily, which permits have been, which is twice the number which we regarded as normal in 2022. So multifam definitely coming here to stay for quite some time. So sellers will be seeing some increased competition from the new home builders over the next year, probably, especially with the rates being up. And who knows? I mean, we had one time we thought rates would be down by now and the Fed would drop rates and things would happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So and on that note, when rates do come down, it's going to go ahead and start to force some demand up. So talking about that, the first quarter demand was just anemic for this year, 2024. So we had even lower numbers than last year, and last year were kind of like record numbers, if you will, that we've had for quite some time since we had the crash here. Low numbers is not good news. And the Cromford Report actually comments here as well, and I'll read this. Demand remains low, and the number of pending listings fell 3.5% and stands over 9% below this time last year. So still some pretty crazy numbers, but we're going to have that supply and demand. It's going to start, the supply's up, demand is going to go ahead and start to increase. So in March, the closed listing count was up 17% from February. Far less of an increase that we would see in a normal year, but values are still going up, which is kind of crazy to see. So people are, and speaking from my listings as well, if you list it at the right price, people are still buying, and you're still getting multiple offers. So just had a listing that had 5 different offers on it. Our demand has been weak for a long time, and it's starting to show some signs of falling a little bit further than what it is right now, just because, again, we can't get any answers from the Fed and getting some things. So it's a lot of uneasy. So, and that's just our market. I mean, I know I have colleagues in New Jersey, New York, and they're going crazy. Our sales is probably going to be the lowest it's been since 2009. So, and as I've pointed out numerous times in my videos, the demand for new homes just remains far stronger than resales as well. If you can get a brand new home at a 4.99% rate, you're going to do that. So something from Cromford here: everyone is waiting to see if mortgage rates might fall and spark some buyer enthusiasm, but all forecasts of these rates have proven to be unreliable so far. So with our inflation numbers still being where they're at. We thought for sure May would be the time that they would drop. Now we're saying July, but who knows? I mean, it's been pushed back, and I'll 100% say I was the one that said that things are going to move in May, and they have not. So I mean, we've come down a little bit, but not because of inflation numbers, just because of some other things. So there's just little indication from the Fed that anything that overnight rates will be lowered anytime soon. That's just the way it's been. So election year, things get crazy in an election year as well. So some good news for some people on the iBuyer market. Things have been down a ton, and iBuyer would be your open doors, offer pads, people who come in and offer you cash. And people are finally starting to catch on to that the convenience of cash maybe isn't all that great, because they're coming in 25 to 30% below market. So saving some money on real estate compensation as far as an agent has been pretty intriguing to people for some time, but that whole, if it's 3 to 6%, depending upon just what kind of transaction you're doing, it could be lower, obviously, but the no commission that they're offering, but still, cut me at 25 to 30% off the value, because they are going to go ahead and sell it at a premium for them. So their market share was about 5.7%. Now they're about 1%, maybe a little bit less than 1%. So that's pretty good, actually, that we're kind of getting the most out of our homes that we can. And people have finally realized that the convenience of the cash and being able to stay for a month free or something like that, just not as good as an offer as, to give up 25 to 30%, and then they usually come in and kill you on a inspection as well. So just kind of a summary from the whole thing. At the moment, the market is quiet and just pretty stable. Again, you saw Chandler was pretty high as far as, being more of a seller's market, and there's some buyer's markets as well, but it's still pretty stable. So since January of 23, the prices have generally been moving higher. So prices have actually gone up 7.3% over the last 12 months, according to the Cromford Report. And the market is summarized, by just saying the current market is just kind of blah. I mean, I don't know what more to say, but if you are in the market as a buyer, I still say now is a good time to get in. Over 44% of the transactions last month involved seller concessions. It's a good time to buy. I know the markets are crazy, but you can always refinance, especially FHA Streamline. If you want to know more about that, how easy that is, give me a call and I'll get you in contact with a great lender. It's a very low cost. Appraisal isn't even done, so it's very low cost, and it's going to be able to drive your rate down when the rates do come down. So there's just not going to be any significant change in the near term. So again, if you're waiting for a major drop in prices, it's not going to happen. It's just wishful thinking. I'm sorry. People are just waiting for that. But if you're waiting for that drop in rates, it's coming. We just don't know when it's coming and then how significant. So it has to come down. Again, we're in election year. Inflation numbers have been high for quite some time, way longer than what we thought. But yeah, we're stable. Again, 10 out of the 17 considered sellers markets. But any questions about a specific market, want to see the numbers, please reach out to me. Give me a call. I'd be more than happy to give you any kind of numbers on that. I'm always here for you. I really am. Even again, there are some people I'm working with that have a relationship with another real estate agent. A lot of part-time agents are getting out of the business because of some changes that are coming. It's just a lot harder, and actually it's good to see as a professional real estate agent, because you have to earn your money, and that makes me happy because I feel like I earn it every day. I work my tail off. So any questions at all, please reach out to me. Contact information below, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.